So just for the general audience, every business that operates in the US that has at least one full-time employee is required, mandated by law, to provide notices, postings of all of the relevant labor laws for their employees. There are labor laws at the federal level. Each state has their own unique set of labor laws, and then there's even local ones at like the county and city level, depending on your location. And you're required to have these big posters up at every worksite location that you have. So even if you operate in 5 different work sites across 3 different states, each one of those work sites has to have their own poster up, has to be accessible, and has to be visible by employees. So typically like a break room or a common area is where these things are hung. And if you have remote employees, or all employees in the state of New York are required to have digital access to these same labor law posters relevant to their location, not the company's location. It's like remote employees, if you work in Washington State, but your employer is in New York, you have to have the Washington State specific labor law notices provided to you.
I mean, it sounds like the simplest thing ever, but that point there, like, oh, you have to have a poster, throw it up. But I mean, you start looking at all the companies that have multi-state, does it go county level?
It goes county and city level. There's also industry specific posters that you have to have. You have to have certain posters if you're above an employee threshold. There's specialty signage that you have to have, OSHA if you're a restaurant, if you're manufacturing and construction. And where it gets really complex and difficult, like if it was just put a poster up and forget about it, that's one thing. But there are a ton of changes that happen across each of these jurisdictions every year. Like last year, there was over 180 changes. And what that means is that you have to update these posters every time a labor law changes that's relevant to your location. So the tricky part is there's not like a centralized, location of repository of information that says, hey, this labor law changed, here's the new poster for you to put up. Especially if you're working multi-state locations, it's very burdensome to try to keep up with that yourself. So what my company does is we provide a service that basically provides these posters, keeps these posters up to date for each worksite location. We provide notices whenever a labor law changes that can be sent to employees, and we provide digital access via an app. And so what we aim to do, and we only distribute through the partner channel, so great partners like Harry, what we aim to do is make this piece of compliance, which is foundational, because these labor laws are the employee rights and protections, and giving them access and visibility of that is a very good thing from both an employee standpoint and an employer standpoint too. But what we aim to do is to make that as seamless and as easy and as turnkey as possible for employers, is to be able to turn on that type of service through their trusted HR providers. So, the companies like Harry, who they're getting, this great workforce management system through, be able to turn on that service very easily and have that integrated, into their platform, where they don't have to go out and shop for posters on Amazon on their own and figure out when to update those.
Well, and that's the biggest pain for HR practitioners. And even if they're not full HR, there's so many things to keep track of. And when you have more of a one-stop or less vendors to have to go to get everything, it makes I can tell you from my staffing days, that was true. I'd go into warehouses and manufacturers. Some of them had 7-year-old posters. Some of them didn't have any of them. And I'd go in and, they knew I was selling temp services. But at the same token, I'm like, you're going to get yourself in trouble. And that's 10,000. That's 1,000. That's 1,500.
What's the fine?
Yes.
Is it a 1,500?
The fines can go up to over 40,000 if you don't have a poster up. And there are it is shocking. I'm not going to name any companies specifically, but huge Fortune 500 companies where there's people that we know that work in these locations are like, yeah, there's not a labor law poster in our office building. Like, we checked, we asked around, there's just not one here. I'm like, that is like a huge miss. But you can see how easy that can be, right? Because especially if you're a complex organization, there's not a clear hey, this person is supposed to keep labor law posters updated for this building. It could be very disjointed. They might have multiple vendors that they're using. They might have some that are just printing them out and putting them up themselves. So it could be a mess.
You have that guy in a pit.
Those are always the fun.
that goes and sees your dates are out and then calls that into his favor.
That's awesome. That's
seriously
awesome. Yeah,
I've seen stuff like that. They're just like, I'm ticked. Where can I ding this company?
The number of people will say, well, I'm going to contact my lawyer now. And I'm like, okay, go ahead, have a field day. Like, I'll wait for their phone call, and I'm happy to talk to them. So, but yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, you get to be a hand in saving. I mean, you can position it that way.